All right, this one was originally posted in True Off My Chest. I had a baby as a result of an affair, and now his wife is reaching out to me. All right, trigger warnings on this one: infidelity, past abuse, mentions of abortion, deadbeat father, coercion, and manipulation. This one was originally posted January 28th, 2024, so it's pretty recent. I, female 26, had an affair with a married man, male 42, a few years ago. I had no clue he was married when we first met and hooked up. I obviously looked him up on social media, and while he did have photos of his kids on there, there was absolutely no mention or photos of his wife at all. I found out that he was married after a month after we've gotten together. But he told me it was just a marriage on paper and that they basically lived separate lives and agreed to remain married for practical purposes until the kids were older. They owned a business, which she ran, and he was just financially involved in. I knew at the time that I probably shouldn't believe him, but I convinced myself it was true. I was in my early 20s and so attracted to him, and I guess almost infatuated with him. He made me feel so good. And I know now that I should have ended it immediately, but I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. I was addicted to all the attention he gave me, the great sex, and the places he'd take me. I felt special, but I was so naive. I got pregnant about a year into seeing him. I had always been so careful with preventing pregnancy, but during my relationship with him, I took stupid risks. I was so high in lust with this guy, it's embarrassing. The things he'd ask me to do, I'd say yes to almost anything, even when I knew it was a bad idea. I was in love with him, or so I thought. I hadn't intentionally wanted to get pregnant. I, of course, would dream about being his wife and having a family, but I knew that wouldn't be a possibility while he had this arrangement with his actual wife. I didn't get pregnant on purpose or with any intention of him leaving her for me, even if I wished that would be real, even if I wished that we could be a real normal couple. I was surprised by how excited I was to be pregnant with his baby. I wanted that baby once I found out I was pregnant. The thought of carrying this baby for a man I love was so special to me, but I knew he probably wouldn't feel the same way. I told him I was pregnant, and he told me I couldn't keep the baby. I expected his reaction, but I was devastated, and it hurt me to my core that he didn't feel the same way that I did. He offered to pay, to make a whole weekend of it, and somewhere exciting, and to buy me something special if I would just please get rid of the baby. He explained that he didn't want any more kids and that he couldn't openly be a father for another kid when he and his wife were still pretending to be happily married to the outside world. I agreed to do what he wanted, and we made plans for him to pick me up and find somewhere out of town to go to get it all done. I was packed the night he was going to pick me up, but I started to feel really scared and really unsafe about the whole thing. I took my bag and I checked myself into a hotel to hide because I couldn't go with him. I texted to say I promised to never contact him again and to never name him as the father or go after child support if he'd promised to leave me alone. At first, he tried to sweet talk me into doing what he wanted. When I didn't cave in, he said some very nasty things to me and that I essentially should never contact him again or show up at his door. I now have a 2-year-old. At times, it's been difficult, but overall, we are thriving as best we can. I have kept my word about not naming him as the father or requesting child support. His wife contacted me on social media. Well, his ex-wife now. She wants to talk to me. She found out about me and told me that she divorced him 6 months ago. She wants her children to know their sibling and for my child to know his siblings. But that's weird to me. I haven't responded back to her yet, and I'm unsure of how to approach this. How do I respond to this? I wonder if I'm being selfish for not exploring an option for my child to know his siblings, but if she's being genuine about that. If I was married and my husband fathered a child outside of our marriage, I don't think I'd feel the same way that she does.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't think I would either. That was a little bit shocking to me. But at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like if you're okay with it, sure, go for it. I don't think there's much harm that can happen, especially since she's divorced now. But if you don't want it to happen, you can also say no.
Yep.
But yeah, that's That's wild. I think it's good that I feel like she had an inkling, like something bad was about to happen.
Yeah.
And she trusted her gut, and she was like, I just don't even want to like see you anymore because
Yeah, and I mean that's a hard thing when like, you have a little potential human inside of your body.
you have a baby.
You have a baby.
Yeah.
There's attachment there.
Yeah.
You're being pressured to abort it when maybe you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's your choice of
Yeah.
what you want to do. So just because he's pressuring her to do it doesn't mean that she has to.
Yeah.
She needs to do what's right for her.
Uh-huh.
And she felt like, no, like regardless of whether he's in my life or not, I still want to have this child.
Yeah. And yeah, I think she made the right decision, and she did what she thought was best at the time. So that's all you can do.
Exactly. There's an update. February 18th. I made a post 3 weeks ago and things have only gotten stranger. So I had an affair with a married man a few years ago. I regret it and I will never do anything like that ever again. I knew it was wrong from the very beginning, but he captivated me. I was naive. I allowed myself to believe when he told me they were pretty much just married on paper for the sake of their kids. I got pregnant while he tried to talk me into getting an abortion, and I ultimately decided to keep the baby. Now I have a 2-year-old little boy. I promised this man that I wouldn't expose our affair and I wouldn't formally identify him as the father or request child support. I did all of that because he was becoming very nasty about the whole thing, and I felt like due to the mess I had created and the way that I felt in the end, a clean break with no involvement with him would be the best thing for everyone. I moved back to where my family is, hundreds of miles from where he and his family live. About a month ago, his ex-wife reached out to me via social media, claiming they had been divorced for 6 months and that she wanted our children to be able to know each other. Now, their kids are teenagers, so I didn't really think they'd want anything to do with the toddler and the woman their father was having an affair with. It seemed odd to me. After posting here, I sort of decided that I wouldn't respond to her, so I just ignored it. She just sent me the one message, so it wasn't as if she was badgering me about talking to me or meeting me. On Friday night, I decided to message her. I really don't know why. I think it was really just for my sake so I could have the chance to apologize to her. I told her that I would be more comfortable speaking with her face to face since I couldn't trust that it was really her. She said she understood. I was too nervous to meet her in person, but we did a video chat. I didn't know what to expect. If this was all a ploy just to unleash her fury on me or what. I mean, I deserve that. She wouldn't be wrong to feel like that. So it really was her. She told me she discovered our affair when she found communications between the two of us after our relationship had ended. She told me I'm one of many women he had affairs with over the years, and she knew about somebody even before he met me, but she didn't divorce him at the time. Finding out about my child was the final straw for her. I told her I was sorry for my relationship with her husband and admitted that I knew he was married. She graciously told me she forgives me and that while she harbored a lot of anger towards me initially, she ultimately blames her husband. I'm not blameless, but she chooses not to hate me, essentially. She said she couldn't have said this 6 months ago or a year ago when she first found out about me, but she has moved past that. She still has anger towards him, in addition to many other emotions surrounding him. She started pouring her heart out to me about their 20-plus year marriage and life together, and it was very awkward because what do I even say? Her kids know about me and my son. She says they're very mad at their father. Somehow, I don't think they're mad about the fact that he's not involved with my son's life. And why would they be mad about that? I would hate me if I were them. I told her with my son being so little right now, I don't really feel comfortable with him meeting her kids or being involved with their family. I feel unsure about it, and it's just not something I feel needs to happen right now. She then told me her ex-husband was in a bad accident 2 months ago. He's fine now. He's still not allowed to return to all his normal activities just yet, but he will be fine. He is probably the most physically active person that I've ever met. He barely ever seemed to sit down, so he must be terribly annoying to be around if he's not allowed to go all the time. She told me he wants to meet my son. Apparently, she moved back in with him temporarily when he first came home from the hospital. She said the accident really shook him up, and he has been expressing a lot of regret about my son not being involved and not providing for him. So now it's like, was everything she said just a lie, and he somehow got her to reach out to me on his behalf, and she actually did it? I feel almost like a relief talking to her initially, but then it's like, was any of that true, or were you just trying to be his messenger?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that part is true now. Why wouldn't he just contact me himself? I'm just feeling so uneasy about the whole thing now.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. Like, maybe she's lying. I think she's lying, and she's just trying to be like the middle person. But at the same time, why does he all of a sudden want a relationship with his son now?
Yeah.
It's very strange.
It's very messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any more updates?
There is another update.
All right.
April 30th, 2 months later.
Oh.
Update. Since I last posted here, I received a handwritten letter from him. In it, he expressed how he wanted to get to know our son. He wants to be a father to our son. He wants to provide financially for him. He'd like us to come visit him. He asked me to sign a paternity affidavit. I refused to do so. I know he is my son's father, but I'm not going to make it that easy for him. After the things he said to me and threatened me with, he at least has to work for it. At that point, my parents felt that we needed to meet with a lawyer. All communication from me has gone through a lawyer. I have never responded to him personally or directly. Now I have a court order for paternity. I have to present my son to have a specimen taken tomorrow. I already know what it's going to say, though. It's not that I don't want my son to have his dad in his life. It's just the whole situation is a mess. And he lives a few states away from me. I don't know what to do. I can't really do anything. He's doing things legally. Next, I'm sure he'll petition for some form of custody or visitation. He's not married anymore, supposedly, but he's a lot more established than I am. He has considerably more financial resources. I also know he has some sort of connections where he lives. Luckily, they don't hold much weight here in my state, but it's still so scary to me. I'm a bad mom. I brought my son into this world knowing it was a messy situation. I just got so comfortable with it just from being the two of us, and now I don't want to give that up. That's it.
Oh my gosh. No, I don't think you're a bad mom at all. You did what you thought was best, and I think that is best. Because if you would have aborted the baby, like, you might be living with so much regret now.
Yeah.
So at least you did what you thought was best, like, and I don't think you're a bad mom for that at all. Like, the baby still has you, who sounds like a great mom, and you don't have to have a relationship with him for your baby to grow up and have a relationship with his dad. Like, that's not necessary.
No.
But I do think you should take his money.
Yeah, well, I think what she was trying to avoid is with taking his money gives him the rights and the adds to the mess and adds contact and everything.
Then don't.
Versus no contact, no money. Yeah. It looks like it's going to be unavoidable. It looks like he's going to go for part custody, which is legally his right if the paternity test comes back positive, and then he'll be paying child support and visitation rates.
Does she have to take a paternity test? Like,
legally, yeah.
She does?
Yeah, it's been court ordered.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I think you did the right thing by lawyering up, and hopefully you can just, I don't know. I don't really know.
That's a messy one.
It is messy. It's unfortunate because, yeah, now you have to, like, think about this man being in your life.
Yeah, I was like, we talked about this a while ago. It's like if you wanted to, like, legally, I don't think you can get away. Like, you know, if he's crazy or something like that, like, I feel like they have a legal right to know where their child is. You know, if they're,
I think unless they do
DNA
something
tested.
Unless they do something that like the court orders him to, like, not have any access to the kid, then but I don't think what he did is, like,
no. Same thing with the old one that I was thinking of too, but there's not much you can do. Just
I feel for her.
Keep a document of everything. Keep fighting for full custody.
Yeah.
And,
Ugh. But no, I think you're doing the right thing.
I think so too.
Yeah.